guys, welcome back to my channel and to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a book unhaul. So recently I did a book reorganization which should be up as a video if it went to plan, so I will tag that up above, but I did do some unhauling of books during that, so I thought I'd show you them today. Usually I don't film unhauls because I unhaul books as I read them and don't like them, so there's never usually a collection of books to show you. So I don't want to store them in my house, I want to get them out. But because I did an unhaul of books off my shelves, a lot of these I thought I'd just show you as I had a collection. A lot of these books I actually like, so it's nothing against the books, but I will talk you through them as we go. Diving straight in on a bit of a negative one, even though I just said I liked some of these books, we have Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. I recently talked about this in my wrap up. I didn't hate it, but I just didn't understand this book. This was confusing to me. I read 150 pages and absolutely nothing happened. There is a million and one perspectives for no reason. I read 5-star reviews of this book that literally said nothing happens and it is set up for the second book. So if somebody who thinks that's a 5-star is going to say that, then I'm certainly not going to like it. So I've given up on it. I can't read a book this big that has nothing happen. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm going to cut my losses and get rid of it. So that is the first book. Second book I'm getting rid of is All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. I actually really liked this book and gave it a 4 stars. I thought it was very, very enjoyable, but I just don't think I'm going to read it again. Like, I don't see the need to reread it, and I have no desire to read the second one because I feel like this one wrapped up in a way I was happy with, and then the ending was like, no. So I'm going to actually pass this over to my sister, who I think would really, really enjoy this one. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with this book at all. I highly recommend it. I just know my reading tastes and I'm not going to reread this one. But yeah, my sister hopefully will love it. On a similar vein, I have got The Beast Hunters by Krista Lende. I read this for a blog talk and I really, really enjoyed it. And I'm actually going to be reading the sequel, but my brother I think would really enjoy this book and I'm trying to get him to read. So I'm going to give this to him and spread the love of the book because otherwise he just won't read. But yeah, I do recommend this once again. If you'd like to see my review, it is over on my Instagram page. Nothing wrong with the book, just not for my shelves right now because there is a better use for it. Next we have The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I read this in its entirety. I didn't DNF it. It wasn't like bad or anything, but it just wasn't my favourite. And I've gone back and forth on whether I'll continue the series because it might get better. But I've come to the conclusion that I'm just not really into that. I've got a lot of series I want to start and continue that I don't particularly want to try and continue a series that I didn't love. I think I gave this book a 3 stars, so it's not bad by any means. It just didn't blow me away or do anything special for me. So I'm good. And I know a lot of people who love this series all seem to be blown away by the first book. So I just feel like if it's not for me now, it's not going to be for me ever. So I'm just going to pass this on to someone else. It's not particularly bad, but it's not particularly great either. Next we have Madam by Phoebe Wynne, and I DNF'd this again. I DNF'd this about halfway through. You know, I gave it a good attempt, and this was really disappointing because this was my first read of 2022, and I just didn't like it at all. I don't quite understand what the concept was. And once I finally accepted that I was bored out of my mind, I went on Goodreads and read some spoiler reviews. And the most people then spoiled what happened. Obviously, I was reading spoiler reviews. And I was like, no, I'm so glad I didn't read that. Which, yeah, you shouldn't feel when reading a review of a book. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't continue with it. I can see the appeal of this book. And I really thought it would be up my alley with the kind of books I read. But honestly, it's just boring. And there's nothing to focus on. Like, if the plot wasn't there, then I would expect the characters to be really developed and fun to read, but no, I don't have any attachment to these characters at all, and it was just bland. So unfortunately not for me. So hopefully someone else will have this who loves it and wants to enjoy bland characters. Another book that I really enjoyed was Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Imadi. Nothing wrong with this book again. I gave it 4 stars, but I don't see myself rereading it. I don't think it's a series or anything to continue, so it's not like I need to keep the book. And I think that this is kind of an important book to be getting out there and for other people reading. As I've already said, there's not a lot of things wrong with all these books. I just want to clear off some things from my shelf, and this one doesn't cut it. And it takes up quite a lot of space because, you know, it is a fairly chunky book, so I feel like I'm strapped for space. This is not the priority. Back to books I didn't enjoy. The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. This is my most recent DNF. This was a choice. It's so short at less than 300 pages and I literally got 100 in and was like, no more, please, no more, this is torturous. I suppose this is kind of like Marmite because I've seen a lot of bad things about it, but I've also seen a lot of amazing things, and I really thought I would fall on the side of amazing, but absolutely not. No thank you, not for me. I'm really glad if it's for you, trust me, I wish it was for me, but I just could not get on board. This felt like fanfic writing, and I love me a good fanfic, but this was not the good stuff. So I'm gonna just give this to someone who would love it. The next thing I'm getting rid of is quite a shock to me and probably not to you because you wouldn't know, but I'm getting rid of the whole Maze Runner series. I kind of enjoyed these. The first book was 4, then it went down to a 3 and then back up to like a 4. Actually, I think this one was a 2, I can't remember. It's a bit of a mixed series for me, and you can tell I've had it years from the various stains. I think I got this when I was 15 or 14 and I'm now 24 next month. So it's been a good while. Not all of them. This was a new edition like 2 years ago. But I think I got the series that long ago. I don't know. Yeah, about that, I guess. So fabulous. Yeah, these are just demolished copies, but I just didn't love this series. Maze Runner movie is one of my favourite movies of all time. The first one, not the rest of them. I still like them, but I think if I'm going to consume this story ever again, it is 100% going to be via the movie. I never want to read these again. So why are they on my shelf? I'm not sure. But they're going to go to somebody in a charity shop who's going to find these and be obsessed, hopefully a teenage girl like I was once, and enjoy these. A book that I haven't even attempted to read is The Diabolical Bones by Bella Ellis. I picked this up because it sounded really, really good, but then I found out it was the second in a series, and I tried searching if you could read this without the first one, because nowhere on it does it say it's a part of a series. The closest it gets is saying praise for the Bronte mysteries, but I didn't realise this. So I downloaded the first one on Kindle, read it, well, I didn't read it, I DNF'd it, and it was just not for me. So I'm just going to get rid of this book because it's obviously not for me. And I'm sure someone will enjoy that. Another book I really, really enjoyed but I'm getting rid of for a specific reason is The Promised Neverland. And my friend Jade gave me this copy because she bought herself the whole series. And I read this the day she got it for me, but I really enjoyed it. But my brother is getting into manga reading and I'm trying to promote this reading. And this is dark, but I think he'll really enjoy this. So it's like leaving my collection to go to my brother. So is it really an unhaul? I'm unsure, but it's leaving my house, so that's what truly matters. But yeah, thank you so much, Jade. I'm sure my brother is going to love this as well. He might even end up giving it to me back, but for now, it counts as an unhaul. Next, we have the Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, and I ummed and ahed during the reorganizing video as to whether to get rid of this because I so desperately wanted to love this, mainly because of the cover. But it's so big, and I DNF'd it like 140 or something pages in, and I just couldn't get on board. The writing style in this is really not for me. Like, it just wasn't obviously written to my tastes. It's very Stephen King-esque, and I am not a Stephen King fan. I cannot get through his writing style. So if I'd known that, I wouldn't have picked it up. But me being me, I didn't make much research into this book. So I'm gonna get rid of it, even though I desperately want to keep it. The story just didn't really happen in the 150 pages that I read. And even though the synopsis sounds good, like, it doesn't sound good enough to keep pushing myself through the horrible writing style and the unnecessary swearing. I've said this before when I said I DNF'd it, but there's this woman in here who's like, men think it's unappealing and unladylike when women swear, so I'm gonna swear every sentence, even in my like internal monologue. I'm not gonna stop swearing, and it says the F word like 3 times a sentence, and I'm fine with a bit of language in my books, but I cannot read a book where you just say the same word in the same sentence every single time. And is this what men think women do in their brains? Oh, men don't like this, I'm gonna do it. Like, we're not that revolved around men, so sorry. But yeah, I just couldn't get on board with this one. It's just not for me, but I know that someone probably will love this because it's very popular. So I'm gonna just let them enjoy it, even though I'm desperate to keep this. Again, something I enjoyed is The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinowski. I really enjoyed this book when I read it. I think I gave it a 4 or a 3.5. We got this from Fairy Loot in 2020 maybe, I don't know. This was good, but it didn't appeal to me enough to continue as the duology. I just kind of felt like I was happy with the first book and it wrapped up well. So I don't plan on continuing it. I don't plan on rereading it because I remember what happened and it was nothing special. It was just enjoyable to read the first time. So as gorgeous as this edition is, because it is so pretty. I mean, this is the original cover anyway, I think, and it's just so beautiful. It's just not for me. So I'm going to let it go to someone who would want to reread it and just share the love, because there's no point in keeping things on my shelf that I'm not going to read again in the future. And ending it on kind of a bad note, actually, is The Cat Who Saved Books by Sasuke Natsukawa. This book, I've ranted about this book. It just makes no sense to me. This book is like so pretentious. Like, it literally tells you what is wrong with reading and what you shouldn't be doing. Did you know that we should not be keeping books on our shelves that we're not going to read again, even though I've just said I'm not going to do that? Apparently it's holding them captive and ruining their potential. Speed reading through books and reading as many books as you can is wrong because you're not savouring a story. Like, excuse me? No, and I only made it halfway before, so God knows how much more it has inside of it, but I'm not being told what's wrong and right with reading. You can shove it. So did not enjoy this book, will not be reading this book, and would rather burn this book than give it to someone, but I won't. I will chuck it in the trash shop and allow them to deal with it. Anyway, that's all the books I'm getting rid of in this unhaul. That was a super quick video, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the books that I'm unhauling off of my shelves. Hopefully it motivates you to do the same, or maybe makes you feel less alone if you didn't like any of these books. Well, some of them I liked, but you know what I mean. And I shall see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.